All right, folks, we're back. Hello. Thanks for watching that commercial break. We're currently in a party trying to get into a lobby. There's a lot of things to be said about this. I'm not a fan of the party system in StarCraft. And, unfortunately, I'm guessing it's Drogo. I'm just going to say it. I'm pretty sure
it's Baguette.
Is it Baguette?
Drogo's good.
The French casters.
Yeah.
French casters, please. Okay, well.
Flipping Baguettes.
Either way, we just gotta wait a little bit to get into this lobby, guys. Semifinals number 2 is gonna be a best of 5 again. And,
Just kick them from the party. Kick everyone from the party. Make a lobby.
Voted them off the island.
Oh!
I mean, I guess here's the one upside to the party system. It doesn't lag trying to invite everybody to the game.
That is one upside. Like, I can see the rationale of thinking that, like, this is gonna be quicker. So I don't usually blame people when, you know, they're new to lobby making or new to tournament, you know, adminning, and they make it like this. I'm like, okay, I see your point, but it's usually not this. It's gonna go quicker if you do this way.
I'm still just like...
There's also less chat to talk in, which have become a big deal when the interface changed. Because, you know, if you guys don't know or don't remember, we used to have a lobby chat that was in the lobby instead of with every other chat.
Yeah, I like the old system. I'm not a fan of the whole, we tried to heroesify it, but...
Heroesify it?
It's literally what they did. They took the heroes chat and copy-pasted it in You remember because StarCraft would have, like, heroes general chat and shit in it for a while?
Oh my god, that was so amazing. You could see, like, 2,000 people are playing heroes right now.
Like,
well, that's
great.
depressing and sad.
Just great.
So I saw you respond to Nathanius. I was also curious about this new chat moderation thing.
Yeah, it's the thing I've been asking for a while. Thank God.
Nice.
The chat delay I'm not a fan of. Like, the 2-second delay in chat's really not too influential, I guess, for chat. But the message that you can make new viewers, like, read before they come in, like, hey, okay, you saw the chat rules. Like, no whining when you get timed out. This was actually a really big discussion when we were at PAX, when I got to go talk to some of the product managers at Twitch. They said don't talk about it, but you know what? You didn't make me sign an NDA, so whatevs. We really got into talking about stuff like that and issues with clearing chat and better TV preventing it and all these other things. So it's nice to see it getting implemented, actually. So shout-outs to Twitch. Cool. But guys, we are in game number 1 of a brand new best of 5. Spawning here in the upper right side of Galactic Process. He's the blue Terran player, MarineLorD.
In the bottom left, as the red Protoss, he's Drogo.
When are we gonna get, like, Hero Tank as, like, a name? Or Tank Hero? Or Sergeant...
Ah, you. You know, what's interesting...
Tank Lord!
So I know a lot of useless things about Brood War and old history of StarCraft.
I believe it.
Yeah, everyone knows that. I didn't know this, and I think it's actually really interesting. A lot of the reasons why you have a lot of players that with names like Hydra and Shuttle and whatever their names there are.
Just change his name to something really stupid.
Eyewater. So this is how I learned it. So Team Liquid interviewed him, I guess, or someone did, and it was up on Team Liquid, and they're like, "Why'd you change your name?" And I don't know if he told why he put Eyewater because it's a dumbass name. But he did say that Shuttle had no meaning to him because when you joined a clan, the clan leader would actually just give you a name. And they were often, the most prized names were that of units, you know? So he was given Shuttle. It's actually, like, I guess, a big deal and whatnot.
If that's real, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was Eyewater's interview, so, I mean, I assume it's real. He didn't, like, doctor or anything like that.
Eyewater's such a stupid name.
I love that Tasteless and Artosis, like, so they've done this in the past, I think, where they've just used an older name for a person because that's what they remember, and they're like, they knew they were going to screw it up. But I think for this one, they just were like, we're not going to say that.
No, you know
it's
what?
Gross, and you're Shuttle.
I like to feel like this is kind of like Dobby's Free, or like, yo, the worm tongue in, like, the army for, like, the Unsullied and stuff of Game of Thrones. Like, okay, you've had no name for your life. You can finally pick your name. And, like, you pick something really stupid. You're like, I want to be Butt Liquor. And you're like, okay, do we tell him it's a terrible name, or do we just let him, like, it's his first pick, you know? Like, poor little guy, he doesn't know better.
They're there.
Pick something, like, accidentally really offensive, too.
Yeah, right.
Like Germany, the original name for dick butts.
Yes.
Is that what you're
Dick
thinking
butts?
too?
No, Dickman.
Dickmans. Dickman's dick butts. Used to be called something really offensive that I can't say on stream.
Oh yeah, we definitely can. That was amazing. I just love that, like, I didn't expect these things to have such a history to them, you know? Like, haha, funny word. The Germans are probably gonna hate us for thinking it's funny, but no, like, the Germans are on board. And they told us even more embarrassing things about it. And that you eat them between 2 slices of bread, which I just don't get, but... I've learned that a lot of countries and cultures use white bread for weird shit, so... Texas uses them just for, like, placeholders on a table.
Yo, you know those, like...
Australia makes... Or New Zealand is, like, the sprinkles on them. Mm-hmm.
There's, like, those life hacks and, like, the quick-to-eat snacks and stuff and the gifts. I tried one of them, where you take, like, the piece of white bread, you cut off the crust, put cheese on it, roll it up, and, like, lather it in butter and fry it.
Oh, yeah, and then dip it in the tomato soup.
I was like, that looks super fucking good, right? I tried it, I was just like, nah, this is a mess. My bread got all, like, broken, the butter, like, didn't fry evenly. I still ate it, but I was like, this is not as delicious as I thought it was
like
going to be.
Any Pinterest project ever.
Pretty much. Not that I would know, but I'm gonna just say pretty much.
I've never used Pinterest, but I've seen, like, the BuzzFeed, I guess, of, like, 10 Pinterest
Really?
projects that have gone terrible.
You haven't pinned, like, your perfect marriage like every other girl I know? Like,
oh, God. Oh, all my friends just stress out about their marriages, and I'm just like, this does not look worth it.
you're like, yeah, I'm busy fantasizing with Steve. Marriage isn't a thing.
Yep, exactly.
Alright,
So I got a bit of a drop going on here. It's very small and it's well prepped for, so it shouldn't do anything at all. In fact, it probably shouldn't have burned. What am I?
I like the Hellions following this up, though. A little bit of distraction to the side as the probes get pulled into it. If the Widowmine was there and actually burrowed, he may have actually gotten a shot off on those probes running away, but runs towards the main. Nothing to defend this. Looking for some shots. Remember, he needs to kill, like, 6+ probes to make this worth it. There's 8! 9!
Wow.
Not shabby. Not too shabby at all.
I thought he was going to get more than that, too.
Well, he might.
Scary.
The Liberator actually has no overcharges to stop it now. He just burned both overcharges in the defense here.
Yeah.
By the way, I had to do a double take with that medevac moving out. We got to see so much TVZ. I was like, wait, there's only one medevac? Is he silly? Oh, right, it's versus Protoss.
Right? To be honest, we got off topic so long, I was like, oh, the Protoss in here.
Okay, good. It wasn't just me. Good to know. Once again,
Amazing.
it's not Rifkin who necessarily always ruins things, guys. Alright, so he'll set this up. I mean, the piling goes down in a nice spot, but there is no overcharge. So this will screw with his mining a little bit as we see Drogo immediately drops. He was actually kind of even with MarineLorD for a bit, but now less than 1,000 minerals per minute than his opponent. Every second that goes by, a lot of money is lost out on. Looks like overcharge is almost ready. Yeah, he just wants to pop it off on whichever one, but MarineLorD doesn't want to dedicate. If he baits out an overcharge in the back, there won't be one for the front for this tank push either. So there's tough decisions to be made for Drogo. He might have 2 overcharges, but how does he use them?
Yeah, that's a good point. There's been so much chaos that usually at this point you do have like a fully charged mothership core. Because, you know, with how he defended against the Widowmine drop, he didn't even have to use it. It was the Hellions and Liberators complicating things.
Oh god, I said Butler earlier. I didn't even think about the Trainwreck reference or whatever that movie was. You do with assholes? I lick them! Good movie, by the way. Terrible movie, I should say, but a good, funny movie. John Cena, my man. Alright, so Siege tanks are getting a really nice cover on the base. The Adepts come from the backside, and I like this, but Marines were left there to protect them. Picks up that Siege tank, keeps it alive a little bit longer, and these Stalkers are struggling to stop the attack. The Marines also ran down here, corralled the probes, 9 of them go down. And this attack on a MarineLorD might be... Wow! I was going to say get out of hand, but GG, that's going to be game!
Impressive.
Certainly. I mean, MarineLord's a good Terran player, but damn, I did not expect that to go so nuts. So Drogo takes a pretty harsh game, number 1. We'll see if he can recover for these other maps.
Yeah. I think that's 5.
It is. So it was only just that, but it's like you are allowed to make a few more mistakes than normal in these larger series. But I'm wondering, like, which of these players is Nurchio more worried about, right? Because on one hand, you're like, TVZ, I got that in the bag. I don't care if it's MarineLorD or not. On the other hand, you've got Drogo, who's a pretty scary Protoss, but is ZVP Nurchio's weakness? I don't know. I will say this much, though. After a game or 2, I might need to take a break. I'm starting to feel a bit dizzy. Feels
That's
bad,
fair.
man. I really think I overdid it yesterday. Casting the entire qualifier was a mistake. I will say that.
I think he did too. I'm surprised he did it at all.
Well, Terminator had to come drop like a $200 donation. So I'm like, oh well, I guess I'm casting the whole thing now.
See what you did, Terminator. Damn.
All right, well, we're in the lobby. I think we're just missing one of the referees. No, we're just gonna go. Okay. Apotheosis is gonna be the second map. That long, skinny. We haven't actually seen Apotheosis in a while.
That long, skinny one. Yep. You're right. I don't think we cast any Apotheosis games.
By the way, a little bit unrelated to this, I meant to mention it earlier, but I forgot. Jesse interviewed Ting, I guess, while they were at DreamHack Montreal, and did a big write-up about it.
He interviewed Ting, like the company? Amazing.
He interviewed Neve. Sorry, I was going to Ting's Twitter to get the link. God damn it. Anyways, Neve had some really interesting things to say. I got to proofread this a little bit earlier than most, so okay, I already read it. Whatever, big deal. But I think you guys might enjoy the interview. So I've retweeted it. Hopefully you guys will check it out. And, yeah, it was cool for Jesse to do that. I like that he's so involved with StarCraft, and it's not just like sponsor, faceless, no interaction type thing.
Yeah, he was super excited. And did I even tell you, like, he got to meet up with his old Halo buddies? That's what he did, right?
Yeah, he's a big console player. He was telling me about how he plays Overwatch on the console because of his Halo. Like, it's more comfortable for him.
But yeah, he didn't even know that they were there. Like, apparently, like, everyone he played Halo with was at Montreal for whatever reason. So he had a grand all the time. Neither here nor there, though.
Well, guys, I forgot intros. So, hey, bottom right, he's Protoss, he's Red, he's Drogo.
In the top left, as the Blue Terran, he is MarineLorD.
Alon Z. Whoops. Okay, camera freaked out for a second. Pretend that didn't just happen.
Nice.
Anyways, that first game for MarineLorD went really well. The push got really out of hand. I'm not sure if it was just combination like of the terrain plus the fact that it was siege tanks, or if Drogo just really truly was unprepared for it. Because we rarely see Drogo find himself flabbergasted, but that's kind of what ended up happening.
Yeah.
And we've cast a lot of Drogo over the year too.
Yes, that is true. He looks so confident against the Zerg he faced as well, right? Like, they weren't like easy games. It was against a laser, wasn't it? They weren't like super easy games, but to go from that to this, the last game was a bit of a stark contrast where he was, you know, befuddled. Like, he was like, oh shit, like everything's happening at once. And that type of game can be instantly like dealt with and beaten back, and suddenly the Terran's in a really bad position, or it can get to the main mineral line and cause a lot of gaming and damage for the Protoss. It seems like it doesn't really get that middle of the road that much. So I would say that's almost lucky that MarineLorD got that damage done. Obviously, it's, you know, his own skill. He realized how to chase the probes the natural, went to the main and whatnot, but I feel like that build has fallen out for a reason, and that most Protosses are getting much better at defending against two something attacks. He's going for a straight-up Widowmine drop here, which Drogo was completely prepared for that. It was the Hellions that made things complicated.
Yeah, the Hellions are a bit of a surprise, not just in terms of like actually them being there, because that's I think unexpected from most, but the fact that they did manage to get more than their value in probe kills. Oftentimes we see 1, 2, they come in and get about 4 probe kills, some scouting, you're like, cool, great, justified. 3 getting 9 to 10, it's a little more surprising.
Mm-hmm. Interesting place for a Widowmine.
Yeah, that's if you remember, MarineLorD was actually putting really sneaky Widowmines down for the Oracles, because we're so often predicting them behind the missile, or the satellite dish, excuse me. He was putting them in weirder spots and catching people off guard real bad with it, but Drogo, who has been known to do Stargate openers, hasn't gone for one this game. No,
another Robo opener, which made him completely prepared last game, except for the Hellions again. So, with just a Widowmine drop, especially if he's able to scout it on its way over, should do no damage. It gets more than like 6 probes, and that's pretty damn good for MarineLorD. Now, the one scary thing about going for a Widowmine drop is the lack of production following it. So sometimes you do see like a tank followed up, so they feel pretty safe. But that's only if Drogo is looking for an attack like that. And yeah, he's getting blink. It's not the quickest blink ever. I mean, he's actually getting a 3rd base right now, so he can't really punish that. But you can kind of punish the Widowmine drop in another way, which is expanding. The Widowmine drop can't do anything about this gold base.
Oh. Let's take it one step further. First off, it's a 1 health SCV building it. Secondly, it's straight up a bunker. Now, this hasn't been revealed yet, and if MarineLorD just goes to the main, I'd actually really wish he'd go to the main and dick around over there to distract, guaranteeing that this finishes up. Because if you put the Marines in too early, then Drogo cancels the third, and I think getting a kill is going to be better, but he's actually just going to reveal it. Not going to play around here. He really wants Drogo to cancel this.
I did just say how it's not supposed to cancel it, so it would be a very big difference. Sometimes the drop occurs as the third base goes down, and it's limited health. Means it gets canceled, but I've never seen one get canceled this far out. And that's, I feel like it's actually pretty devastating.
It kind of is. The position here, too, with the second medevac coming in, another Widowmine to assist. And, whoa, that first medevac is really out of position, though. It gets picked off. Scans for the Observer, though. Now the Widowmines are pretty safe to just chill. Drogo may have really underestimated how much this was going to do. I
certainly didn't think it was going to be able to kill
Widowmine
base,
gets the shot.
This is... I feel like this is something that Terran should have, as a collective, tried to figure out how to beat. They're tired of, the quick third bases in response to their Widowmine drops. And this is actually beautiful. Like, it not only takes down the Nexus, it took down a lot of Stalkers. I mean, the third Nexus is 400 minerals, and it probably should have been canceled. Drogo thinking you could save it. Well, is, like, not as big of a deal as I feel as the way that it just puts off your build entirely. Like, you are dependent on your probes getting over there and mining from the gold base. You're waiting for your production to be put down until that happens, and it's all thrown off now.
It's a little more than that, too, because if this was a situation where MarineLorD wasn't taking his own gold behind it, you're like, okay, that was just losses for Drogo. But the fact is, MarineLorD's going to get big gains from it, too, so that just super increases the distance between the two's economy.
Yeah, gains. And because he took down Stalkers, there's no fear of that counterattack. And he gets tanks anyways, so...
Yeah, how many did he kill? He killed, 5 Stalkers. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Drogo's gonna try, because Blink should give you kind of a little bit of control over here, and I don't mind him trying, right? He may get a couple SCVs for it, too, but he cannot try and take on the army. He can't, Blink to the main, try and get Stim, which is what can happen if it's 2 bases.
Just killed another Observer, too, by the way. There's the high ground vision, so... Blink gonna have a little bit hard time maneuvering for anything other than out of fights. And I think between the tank and the stim being done for the Marines, there's just really no chance to get damage done here. I mean, even if the Stalkers wanted to, say, poke around over here, they don't have high ground vision, but if they did, Liberator combined with tank beats out the positioning they can take.
I say, MarineLorD's in a really, really good position. Everything just feels so delayed for Drogo. But he's trying to get some control back over his life right now, over this game with the Blink Stalkers. And he's finding something.
His focus fire is interesting. Selectively picks off Widowmines, really good at targeting medevacs, but there's only so much you can do with these Stalkers. And MarineLorD doesn't mind bleeding out one Marine, one Widowmine here and there. He's on a whole gold base after all. Turret coming down as well. This will be able to pick off any Observers that come in that would give those Stalkers the high ground vision.
Yeah, these Stalkers are out of luck, and Drogo just goes in and retreats with them. At this point, it would be a little scary, too, to consider that there's medevacs out. He's always on his medevacs out, but more medevacs and more units available for drops, so wants to be available for defense if that happens. Actually finds the Liberator. I think the Observer saw it, which is why he found it so easily. Warp Prism's gonna come in. Okay, the Warp Prism might be able to bring MarineLorD back, and this is all time buying. Drogo's got his third base, but it's still not a great game for Drogo to what it should have been, which was a third base up and running and Widowmine drop easily denied. But he did throw down 2 Forge, right after the third base went down. So I'm not sure if that was I don't know how to explain. If it was, I think I can get away with this, you're not going to be pushing anyways, so let me be kind of greedy, even after losing a third base. Or if it was okay, I don't want to get a lot of production, I want to get upgrades over you. But either way, neither, I don't know, he will have really good upgrades. And that's something that MarineLorD does have to be wary of if he doesn't push aggressively. He will be 2-2 to 1-1 or even 1.
Drogo's done a great job of continuously picking off the Widowmines. There are no Widowmines with this push.
No, there's not. The Warp Prism gets in the main base. There are reinforcements running back right now. This is a lot of adepts.
Yeah, Liberator trying to take down the Warp Prism slowly, very slowly.
But this is a good portion of his army that's going to kill a lot of SCVs, yes, but not going to be on the defensive. In fact, most of the defensive is Stalkers.
Concern is, though, he did just gut the SCVs, though, right? Down to 36, 31 workers dead. As MarineLorD tries to push in here, he really has to cause some damage because he took a lot back at home. The Adept transfer might be a bit much. The tanks are not getting the shots off. They're shooting the Stalkers and the Sentries. Adepts are just kind of being really freaking cool right now. And even though MarineLorD has the supply lead, his army looks much meeker.
That attack out of desperation, forced because of the SCV kills, it made it so it hit right before combat shields was done.
Oh, you're right, yeah. And plus 1 armor, too.
That's like, you know, the 2 extra seconds of constant marine fire is kind of a big deal. But also the shading on top of the tanks was perfect, exactly what we need to do.
Actually, there's also that other aspect where because Drogo has really good weapon upgrades, he'd like 2 shots the Marines instead of 3 shots them. That's a big deal on why the Adepts melted through that army so quickly.
Yeah. In any other case, and the Adepts actually aren't necessarily the big bad bosses. But there is a nice Marine force still here, and now they have combat.
Can't even save the command center though. Drogo's actually target firing down with the Stalkers. It's gonna blow up in his face. Oh, and a disruptor. Oh god, a disruptor.
Honestly, that was such a I'm so ahead fourth base.
Yeah.
Like you really wouldn't see that early on location.
Well, stimming in. He really wants to keep trading. Marauders are pretty good versus Stalkers, but not so much against the massive amount of Adepts there are. And Drogo's okay, he's ahead on upgrades, but he's also starting to get ahead on army. Yeah,
he is. That was the one thing he was having trouble with, and now it's coming back. Now there are 2 starports, and Liberators are going to start really increasing in count here, and you know, maybe he'll even have 1 second, 1 turn of medevacs as well to make sure that he can heal his army. But it's gone from MarineLorD being in a really good position to MarineLorD now having to play a bit of a desperate game where it's either, okay, you're going to start dropping and going Super Saiyan, or you're going to wait till you have just a crucial amount of Liberators that they actually can't deal with them unless they have Tempests. Which has happened, by the way. Actually, I think back to the Pro League games when Jachi almost won, because basically what happened was he got to like 13 Liberators, and SOS never got to Tempests. And it was like, SOS had that game entirely except for the damn Liberators. They can be a good unit.
Jachi, who's that guy?
Right? That's what everyone said when he was put out against SOS. So yeah, that type of scenario is something that you can try and force, or just kind of hope for, too, as the defensive Terran player.
Well, the army size is certainly growing for both sides of the map. The upgrade disparity, though, has gotten even wider, and my concern is you're going to have plus 3-3 for Drogo to the 2-1, maybe, of MarineLorD.
Yeah, not if he pushes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, realistically, Liberator Range will be cool. I really like the idea of leapfrogging forward, but the amount of Colossus available, it's going to force weird fights and weirder positionings out of MarineLorD.
Mm-hmm. I am actually a little worried for Drogo, though. 4 bases, okay. 4 bases, mass Colossus army, that does you a lot of good, but when the Tempest, the Liberator count gets up to, I'd say, above 8, you do need Tempest. Especially if they got that upgrade for him.
Thank you very much for that donation, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Although, for some reason, I'm still not getting the Korean caster for that. It should be the top donation.
Oh.
We'll fix that afterwards. We're into the donation. Big attack coming underway right now. Liberator set up like crazy, and this Nexus is absolutely going to fall. So many Marauders in the army. In fact, 28 Marauders is a huge count to have to worry about. Mothership Core also goes down for free. Oh, that's a big waste. No overcharge, no time warps.
He's about to have +2. Thank God. At least his upgrades won't be so terrible. They're pretty bad, though.
Liberator range is nice. It's going to be Adepts versus nothing if he transfers through. That would have been a big mistake.
This is the situation I was talking about, though. Like, Drogo realizes, as good as Colossus can be to help out versus Liberators, they can't deal with that many with range. Not if MarineLorD keeps his army back.
He's trying to come around the backside with the stock. It was clever, but that was so clutch! If that had detonated, that would have killed like a quarter of MarineLorD's army.
So he can't actually retreat away from the Colossus like straight to the gateways first.
No, this goes really badly for him too. The Marauders training as best they can versus the Stalkers, but not enough to stop the anti-air, and the Liberators now all gone from the equation. He's got another force down here to the left side, and if Drogo chases him down the middle of the map, there will be nothing to save this base. And Drogo needs mining. He's got a decent bank right now, but that's like one warp-in round. After that, MarineLorD can just keep, moving command centers around, lifting to 4th, 5th. Drogo might be in just too much trouble. I mean, it's good for Drogo right now. Make no mistake, guys. The upgrades are massively in his favor.
Yeah. I would say that, Drogo should still win this game almost no matter quite, like, I can't say no matter what, but if he does things right, I think he'd still win the game just based off of, like, army type and the upgrades. But it is turning into a very hectic game. It's gone very much like flip-flop back and forth, who's the better, stronger army in better position, but... the Liberators, there's not that many of them. I think he could take on this army.
Okay, by the way, I'm going to play the test donation for the top donator since it got denied on stream.
Okay.
So this one's for you, Terminator. Terminator threw $41 or $40, excuse me, our way, and he says, "Can't drop another bomb like last night, but I'm in a charitable mood. This time, I just got home from work." Nice. We got a lot of games still ahead of us, man. There's a best of 5 finals. If you guys have just tuned in, this is the semifinals. We got this best of 5 to play out. We got the best of 5 grand finals of the winners bracket. Then we got the losers bracket to sort through after as well. A lot of StarCraft still ahead. And thank you very much, Terminator, for your generosity between last night and today.
Well, this game is still very interesting. We have the main command center going over for the 4th base, and Drogo took the gold, which I think is the smarter move. It was actually the healthier one this time, as his 3rd again. So they're both mining some, not super great, but Drogo has Tempest now, which I think was the biggest problem for him, is that Liberators could have actually taken this game away from him, the same way that Adepts could have took away the game from MarineLorD. Am I right? Anyways, but now that he has Tempests, unless he's backed into a corner, which he might just be, he's one of the defensive right here, he should take on the army okay.
My concern is by getting Tempest, Storms, Colossus. First off, I love this drop. It's so much army supply. Drogo doesn't have as much ease splitting his forces anymore.
This is pretty big. I actually really like MarineLorD targeting down the Fleet Beacon in this Stargate. He sees that there's already 3 Tempests, but that's seriously not, they two-shot the Liberators now. Okay,
so he's gonna run away. I would have loved actually suiciding for the Templar Archives. I think would have been worth it. Storm is gonna be such a big problem for him to have to overcome.
Yeah.
But
he's gonna get another Nexus.
Right down here. Well, I don't know about the Nexus, but he's obliterating the probes. Nothing's being pulled away from this.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. 18 down now, only at 27. MarineLorD has Mules to fall back on. The Liberators are all gone or not involved with the fight, rather.
Oh, I don't know about the Marauders staying in this, so they're just eating that Colossus fire. No medevacs to heal them either. His army supply is still pretty big. Some of it over here, some of it back at home. I mean, MarineLorD's not out of this yet. He's still fighting a pretty good fight, but this has been really tough to break Drogo. And a lot of this had to do with upgrades. He's finally had to... I mean, it's still 2-1. If he doesn't get to 3-3 at some point, A move versus A move's never going to go in his favor.
Yeah, he was unable to get to any other upgrades.
Oh,
but
these Colossus
for free.
That was a mistake. This is that problem. You can't segment units the way he wants to now. Attacking the north can kill a few SCVs. Mules can help replace these bad boys. Big shoutouts on that resub, by the way. Thank you to Cartman State for the 7 months.
Nice. Well, MarineLorD, his Marauders got a couple of Colossus for free, but I don't know what else they can do. Oh, the Liberators. Oh my god, there's so many of them not dying quick enough.
Getting attacked from both sides, too. The Stalkers don't really have any one place to blink. The Colossus go down. The Tempests aren't that numerous. MarineLorD's still down in supply, though, and he doesn't have proper anti-air. How does he deal with the Tempests? Oh, that Warp Prism shutdown was huge. No more Stalkers warped in.
But I feel like it would be better to take on the ground army than just the air. Just try
I agree.
Follow the ground army, even as Drogo moves away from the liberation zones.
He already made huge moves, though. By killing that Warp Prism, it was warping in 6 Stalkers that would have killed all these Liberators. Yeah. So good moves were already made. Unfortunately, MarineLorD's still stuck on, oh god, a burning command center. No bases mining. He's transferring all over. He's going to tap out. What? GG.
Dear god. That game.
That was a tough, rough game. But that'll send us to map 3, and this is match point now. If MarineLorD loses, he'll fall to the losers bracket.
No, it's not.
What?
Game 3?
Wasn't
Best
it?
of 5? Best of 5? Wait, is it?
I'm pretty sure
was
that
was game 3 or is
I'm pretty
this
sure
game
that
3?
was game 2.
Yeah, this is game 3.
Yeah, so I'm saying we're going to game 3. It's match point. If MarineLorD loses...
5.
Isn't Drogo winning 2-0?
Oh, is he?
Unless I'm mistaken, I don't think MarineLorD won that first game, did he? No, he did.
Yeah.
You're right. I had the wrong fucking score the whole time. Thank you. Damn. No, I had the right score in the overlay. Why did I think it was... Okay. This is what I was saying. I'm dizzy.
I had the same thing happen. I had the same fucking thing happen. And it was because I assumed someone was going to win the game because they were in such a good position.
Hang on. This actually, no, has nothing to do with that. I am actually straight up dizzy. I haven't eaten anything. I'm starving. I had a shower, and like I said, I didn't get to sit down. So I'm going to put the camera on you once we get in game. I'm going to take a break to make some soup or something, or a sandwich, because my head's spinning and I'm clearly not thinking correctly.
That was emotions.
Yeah. To clarify, it's 1-1. Zombie Grub was right. I had the wrong idea in my mind. But yeah, so that being said, anyone who's ever been so hungry that you're actually dizzy, I think you know what I'm going through right now. Anyways, regardless of this, like I said in the previous game, we still have another best of 5 after this. The winner goes on to fight against Nerchio. So while I may have been wrong about the score, point still stands. Like if MarineLorD loses, if Drogo loses, there's a losers bracket to go to. And a lot of the big names have dropped out of the losers bracket. In fact, I thought with this semifinals being stalled out, the losers bracket would be wicked behind. But it's caught right up. Snoot waits for you to throw him on Hearthstone. They're currently 1-1. Hero Marine's been waiting for Blay on a laser. By the time we're done with the finals, we might actually be right in the semifinals of the losers bracket.
That would be nice.
It certainly would be. At least for broadcasting point of view, because then you're like, bam, bam, boom.
Yeah, drug needs 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Still waiting.
I can't go to BRB, though, right now until we're in game.
I know, it's awkward.
I got some leftover chicken. I guess I'll throw between 2 slices of bread. I'll try and be quick. There we go. Is it Apollo? It's Apollo. Yellow stuff. 20 months. Thank you for saving esports. I love the kappas that came with it too, man. May you one day find yourself with a golden kappa. Okay, well, guys, I'm going to mute myself and leave it to Zombie Grub. So camera is going on you, madam. Don't spin it or anything weird. Take her away.
Okay. In the top left as the blue Terran, he is MarineLorD. And his opponent in the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it's Drogo. And it is tied up 1-1. So that was a serious roller coaster. That was MarineLorD's game, pretty much, until the Adepts attacked. And then it was Drogo's game, pretty much, until the Liberator count kept growing and growing. You know, it was very important that MarineLorD didn't lose so many SCVs that he literally could not afford his production. He probably gave up, like a couple of barracks production and to get the starport production, but it was totally worth it. Point is, he didn't give up all his production to remake SCVs, which if he had gone down to like 5 SCVs would have been the case. So he kept the okay supply, and at the worst point he was down 30 in the mid game, which is something that Liberators can help make up for if they don't already have a large Link Soccer force or a Tempest army. And it was, you know, there's opportunities for everyone. And, you know, the chat, the lobby, they said there was a great game. And both of them basically admitted that, yeah, when both sides make a lot of mistakes, it's going to be a fun game. So that's why casting, like, you know, gold versus gold players is not necessarily boring. It's actually sometimes a lot of fun. It's just really silly. But you see the professionals just force each other to make mistakes like that. It turns into a very wonky type of game. I think Drogo said it was a clown fiesta. That was his words. To Hitchens 92 for the 7-month resub. Oh, bad news. Guardians of Atlas, that thing that Artillery was developing, it's already closed. That sucks. I saw like Grubby playing it, I think. That it looked fun enough, like cute enough, you know, like the art style was decent, and I don't know. But I guess it didn't really work out, did it? Ooh, we have a new sub! Oh, thank you to Artemis73 for the new sub. That's a rarity. Thank you very much. Well, Drogo did scout his opponent, I guess. He probably saw like the Marine just boog it out. So, you know, he's considered an adept over there if he wants, I suppose. So he will. But this is not so much for the early game, as of course Drogo's not doing anything cheesy or anything like that, but it is for the mid and late game to know where to expect your opponent's medevac to come in. I think is like really big, and if it's horizontal spawn, it's obvious. Vertical spawn too. Cross spawn, little bit more up in the air. MarineLorD could choose either path to go down, and it is going to be a Widowmine drop, which is something that Drogo would have loved to be able to scout, but it's a 2-base Widowmine drop. You don't really get that opportunity. Oh, maybe spoke too soon. That Depths Shade got in pretty far. It did see the starport, so it knows Widowmine drop. Could have guessed it too. It's a pretty popular build, but one of the important things I think we have to, remember is that the first game, MarineLorD did a Widowmine drop plus Hellions, and to scout the lack of Hellions is kind of important for Drogo. That's really all we're going to be waiting for, I think. Just when or how much the Widowmine drop can do. Drogo is going to go for the 3rd base again. That was so interesting to see MarineLorD have the SCV there. I really wonder if it was practiced or if it was like, hey, my SCV's here, so let's build a bunker, and it worked out surprisingly well. Or if it is something that was planned, practiced, thought about, methodically. Because, when a Widowmine drop is scouted, when you know it's going to happen, as a Protoss, you should be getting a faster 3rd base, unless you're planning on being aggressive. Both options are kind of there. The only bad option is to go middle of the road and defend while being on 2 bases. That's not going to get you nearly as much. Yeah, Widowmine drop should not be able to kill a Nexus, especially if it's, partway done. If it's brand new, it might get the cancel, but then, it's brand new, not a big deal. So this is going to get cleaned up. He should scan for the Observer. This seems to be what he likes doing, keeping his Widowmine alive. And this means that he can continue attacking the Nexus, but also means he might be able to Widowmine drop later, because that's, consider what he's giving up here. He probably won't get the Nexus, because there's no bunker here to complicate things. So that means his Widowmine drop isn't hitting at, the surprise, factor, where he's going to be coming in from, and it's also given more time, right, to Drogo to get more warp ins. But a second Widowmine drop comes in here, and oh my god, no. Whew. That was close. Ends up accidentally letting his Stalker take some shield damage, but that's about it, and the medevac barely gets away. Drogo now only having to focus on this fight, should win against the Marines, no problem. Saves the Observer as well. Oh, not a Stalker. And then that's kind of a wasted scan, though, so always consider that. Observer's going to see the follow-up of tanks, which is just kind of necessary if you want to make sure you don't die, which he's not in danger of, mind you. There's no blink on the way or anything like that, but it's not only defensive, really good units for defensive purposes, it's also a good unit for the attack. It can give you that crucial splash damage against clumped up adepts that, had that last game not gone so wonky with the Warp Prism drop, they could have focused entirely on it, been reinforcing with it, and he could have gotten some really nice splash damage on those adepts, which is kind of, I think, the perfect scenario. Getting them all clumped up. Or all the sentries, that's always good too. And Warp Prism's on the way. It did a great job last time, so definitely reintroduce that guy. A lot of gateways, of course, too. This is all things that came down a little bit later last game because he lost the base. Keep that in mind. In this game, he does not go for the double forge, so I'm still curious as to what type of response the double forge was. Was it a, oh shit, I'm behind double forge, or a, well, nothing's gonna happen anyway for the next 2 minutes double forge? I'm not sure, but this game not being as adventurous, shall we say, so there won't be that severe upgrade disadvantage that, mind you, was really important in that last game. Like, a lot of it was the Liberators, for sure, and could Drogo deal with it, but also a lot of it was the fact that the bio did, no damage, and took a lot of damage, because of the upgrades. Resident Enclaves, +1, finishing up nicely timed here, whereas, of course, MarineLorD would be wanting to wait for Stim. Does even have combat shields right now, so that's a no-go on the push. That's just not... Unless he could find a seriously abusive position, which... I mean, this is kind of okay. It's not worth it. His 3rd base is up and running now, getting the gas geysers, getting combat shields too, because he got a 2nd tech lab. Really quickly into Liberators. He did save both medevacs of the Widowmine drops, so that means he has the kind of, okay 4. I don't want to call it a perfect 4, but it's the okay amount that you can kind of, back in the day, go into Vikings too, but of course nowadays go into Liberators too. He can now respond to this with a full focus. Oh, maybe not. Ooh, if he thinks he can, then he's going to be really surprised by this. Combat shield isn't done, +1 isn't done, Guardian shield is popped, no medevacs over here. Tanks okay, they are getting some hits in here. It's where they're a little bit out of range. But SCVs have to be pulled from here. They're all dying. SCVs dying in here. SCVs dying over here. Oh, good God. Everything went to hell very quickly for MarineLorD. And again, all the 4 damn upgrades are done. That wasn't necessarily his problem this time, but it was, of course, a contributing factor to the main engagement, and I think he just... I think that's it. You know, if he had high ground vision, his tanks would die. He does, actually, as a hero, so probably high ground. 44 SCVs. He's been trying to replenish them as the attack's been happening, so that's why he's not at, like, you know, sub 30, but... Still not great, and Drogo managed to save a good portion of his army. Almost got a priest liberator too. But now he has to get out of there. Unfortunately, we'll lose his warp vision for it. I'm gonna try and escape if he can. But, oh yeah, realizing I don't have to. The liberators are gone. I can actually take this engagement. Tanks are on siege, and he needs to get out of liberation circles. He's almost the sentries die, but he ended up taking the engagement, a good one. And now with a big old warping back at home, he's in no danger of dying. In fact, he has the better army supply, and MarineLorD just in, I want to say an unwinnable position. Another difference between this game and the last was that, you know, it's a pretty similar SCV count to what he had last game. You know, that gave him decent-ish production. You know, some of his barracks being used, some of his starports being used, but he doesn't have that big of an army to like start off with. I don't remember the exact number, so I'm just guessing here, but, you know, the same factor that you can just be like, okay, well, maybe I can get maxed out on Liberators, and that's going to take me about, like, 2 minutes. Here, it's going to take him, like, 3 or 4 minutes, you know? And that's a long time to wait. That's a long time for Drogo not to feel, like, in a rush to get to Tempests. Because, you know, say that MarineLorD does get to 10 Liberators. If it's with, like, 20 supply on the ground, it's, you know, whatever. It's... you gotta have a pretty good mixture of the two to cover each other. Unless you have like 30 Liberators, in which case you're just basically going air mech, and that's an entirely different problem. And Drogo is grabbing that 4th base, as expected. I think he knows he's in a good position, like last game. Now, the one thing that would be scary, if you're thinking like, oh, I'm in a great position like last game, you also are probably thinking, oh shit, like last game I almost lost it anyway. Despite being in a good position after all those adepts getting all those SCV kills. So, you know, that turned awkward a little bit because there's like a bit of a base trade and he was out of position sometimes. But also because his Tempests were late, and I'm sure Drogo in the back of his mind is thinking that. So he wants to get scouting on the army at all times, which he did just lose another observer. Liberator count is at 6. They do not have the upgrade though, and that is another factor to consider. When the Colossus can actually kill the units on the ground without first letting their army take like a bajillion shots from the Liberators, that's vastly different than the army walking into liberation zones for like 10 seconds before the Colossus can start killing the bio. If it's, you know, the perfect way for the Protoss player, this is where Colossus look good against Liberators. If it's the perfect way for the Terran, where they actually have range, then that's a difficult power. This is an interesting little position that Drogo finds himself in, and kudos to MarineLorD for finding it. Unfortunately, losing a lot more SCVs on this side of the map as that Warpism was waiting for that push out. The army does walk through all of the liberation zones to try and get to the army, and even without the range, it's exactly what I was talking about. Now, he still ends up trading evenly, so that's good to note for Drogo. And I think in a way, even for MarineLorD, if he didn't take 24 SCVs damage, it would be fantastic, but he did take more economic damage, and Drogo's on 4 bases, so that was almost brilliant. Almost. Not quite. MarineLorD does still have a better army supply, so Drogo should be careful not to run into reinforcements like this. Yeah, try and take out the Liberator while you can, I suppose, but you need something to cover its Colossus. Only 2 of them. The warp is gonna go down. It does barely! Oh my god, get the warp in. Oh my god. I really thought it was gonna cancel. MarineLorD did too. Jesus. Upgrades are in favor of Drogo, by the way, and have been for some time, I want to say. That's something that affected the last couple of fights. Damn, MarineLorD twice almost getting crucial kills or crucial positioning. Unable to do so, and finds himself down in almost every possible way. Drogo needs to warp in once, and he'll be back up in that army. Double Forge upgrades means that 2-1 lead is going to become a 3-2 lead, because MarineLorD, I'm pretty sure he got an armory, but that was like right before the Adepts came in, so he really has to pick and choose what he produces. And, you know, sometimes the first thing to go are those upgrades. These Adepts, if they get any more than 2 SCVs, I think Marine's going to just tap out based off of tilt. Oh, I tried so hard to make sure nothing would happen. Just tried so hard in the wrong direction. Well. Drogo, playing the calm, slow game. Wait for upgrades. MarineLorD is going to get the 2-2, but that is a pretty costly investment for someone on not quite 3 bases. You hear dogs barking. Blame it. They're upstairs right now. Anyways, Drogo's army is moving through. It is a better army. It has 4 Colossus, not really going up against any Liberators. 2 Liberators, not a big deal. Again, without that range. And it's going to have better upgrades. So, 3-1 at least against 1-1. So that should be a winning engagement for Drogo. In fact, I'm not even sure MarineLorD could depend on. He does have 4 Widow Mines. We saw a game yesterday that Widow Mine saved someone with the players to be killed. And actually, that's a really nice con game. Upgrades have finished for Drogo, but no Warp Prism to warp into very crucial, really importantly needed Adept. Where is that thing? It was all the way back there, warping in from, you know, home, but that was... Oh, that was surprisingly well for that initially, but once the Adepts came in, you can see how that makes a drastic difference. Additionally, +2 armor had finished halfway into that fight, so... Alright, Drogo, kind of reminding himself not to throw away this game. Oh my god, a net I didn't notice. To be honest, guys, Colossus are just still so rare. You know, they're not the thing that automatically Protoss get to, that I forget to check if they have range. But here I am talking about Liberator range the entire flippin' time, and the Colossus didn't have it. So it was almost like MarineLorD had range in a way. It is all about getting the Colossus actually attacking the bio. So whether you have range and they don't, or vice versa. Yeah. That is something that I'm glad he noticed, because I wasn't going to notice. But that is pretty crucial. He's made, I think, 6 or 8 Colossus at this point. 7. Nope, 8. Nailed it. So that was pretty important. Well, 2-2 finished up for MarineLorD at least. So it's even, much more even on the upgrades. And this guy is, damn, he's holding on, but more depth into the 3rd base. SCVs. Going down. I'm gonna get out with a couple of the Adepts. But range still not researched for MarineLorD, now researched for Drogo. A lot better. Once again, running into a potential good concave for the Terran, but not nearly as many Marauders here. Links forward trying to take out the Liberators, but actually Ito Widow Mine shot to the face here. Liberators getting some damage done. This might just be enough. Now the Liberators can't be taken care of. More Stalkers have to be warped in. Drogo is mined out of his main and natural. His 3rd base is just about mined out, so he desperately needs his 5th base. I mean, generally the unit's loss actually favors MarineLorD a lot because of those Liberators. And Drogo, definitely the fight over here with the concave could have done a lot better. MarineLorD is making this into, like, yeah, if he gets 1 or 2 more engagements that go in his favor, suddenly that's going to be 20 army supply in his favor, and he could push with it. At this point in time, too, Drogo, you know, he had 2 options for a long time, but I'd say like the last 5 minutes. He could have either kept on pushing and trying to win, thinking that he was in a good position, which he was, and he maybe could have. Things gone a little differently. Or he could have gone for the maxed out army and gotten to Tempest. That would have opened up opportunities for MarineLorD to also get maxed out and maybe get some crucial drops in. You know, it's a give and take either way. But the point is, the way that he chose to do this, he can't afford Tempest that easily. So if he does hit that amount, he is actually in trouble. You know, maybe MarineLorD can finally afford to go for the range in his upgrades too. 3-2 is just about to finish up. So it's gonna be even upgrades. Yeah, even upgrades. This has been a long, very hard-fought game for MarineLorD. I mean, this is an orbital. That happened very quickly. It was talking. One class almost died in the bio. Link underneath the thing that also triggers that is finally in a MarineLorD. A crucial element here to not only last levy. Barometer's PG. 19 minutes later, Drogo does, take the game. And now it's 2-1 in favor of him. I don't know if Rifkin's back.
I'm back. Hi. I've been here. I was just finishing up. Let's leave the in-game screen on for a second because I still have a couple more bites to finish, but I'm almost done my soup. My lukewarm, delicious soup.
Good deal. Party. Drogo. It's Drogo's fault this time. I'm starting to get hungry too. Here, and you
trade
munch
off.
it.
After this series, you can go get a break or something.
Yeah. Yum, yum, yum.
Okay, now I'm unmuted to the stream. What's up, guys? Hi, I'm back. And, I wasn't muted the whole time, just finishing up the last few bits of my lunch/breakfast, whatever you want to call it. It's like too late to be brunch, right?
Yes, it is too late for that.
So what'd you call that then? If it's a later breakfast/lunch?
We just call it lunch. As someone who almost exclusively eats lunch as breakfast, just call it lunch.
The best way to save on your calories is to cut out one of the meals of the day.
Yeah, actually, accidentally intermittent fasting is great.
Oh, well, I should be a little bit better to go, guys. I'm feeling a bit more recharged already, which is great. Again, yesterday's solo cast took a lot more out of me than I expected. I am apparently quite freaking old. But regardless, we get in the game. Drogo won that last one, right?
Correct.
There we go. So 2-1 being the score. Hey, I know numbers this time around.
Good deal.
In the bottom right, still fighting for this spot to even have a chance to go to the finals and fight against Nurchio. Again, this isn't even a qualifying match, guys. This goes into a qualifying match. So bottom right side, still fighting for his life in the winner's bracket. It's the red Terran player, MarineLorD, who is on his last life.
In the top left, as the blue Protoss, he is Drogo.
Now, the time I sat back down and started wolfing down my soup was right when you brought up the point about him not having extended thermal lance. I thought that was kind of funny because it is just so much more common now to not have Colossus as a main part of your army. Back in the day, it was unforgivable. Colossus were everywhere. If you forgot it, you were a total idiot. But simple mistakes were made, and Drogo ultimately didn't pay the price for it.
Yeah. By the way, apparently I missed some resub and a new sub.
Oh, hey, but Sao! BT Sao! New sub hype!
Woo!
And some other guy sub for 34 months. I've never heard of him before. Temp Zero SC? Temp Zerosk? Temposk. Soup, everybody. Ace Tempog. I predict the French guy winning. Oh, you clever guy.
Clever.
They're both French. Spoiler alert. So that's a safe bet.
This is like when they say that TvT, you know, like how the Terran wins. It's funny. It's clever.
I feel like I want to mock it, but I'm totally the guy who will make that joke when I've got nothing else to say.
Of course you are. Of course.
Although, I'm not gonna lie, I know that I was pretty delirious and out of it. I had a lot of fun making fun of Scarlet's failed extractor trick last night.
Oh yeah.
Kind of want to do that.
That was a fun cast.
It was one best of 5 for you, and that one best of 5 for me was a fun cast. I just wish I remembered more of it.
Yeah, that's true. Thinking for the Scarlet's always nice. It's easy shots, you know.
That's probably didn't even come to help me cast. You just saw Scarlet was on. You're like, yeah.
That's what Fear Dragon. That's what he accused me of.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, SCV just kind of back and forth. I'm wondering if he'll do a proxy starport or not. It's looking not, because he's got this one ready to go. But there have been a few builds where not just MarineLorD, some others have done this for faster Liberators, and the siege uptime is so quick. Most Protoss aren't prepared with that third pylon behind the mineral lines.
Yeah.
But
you know what he might not be prepared for are Hellions, which he wasn't in the first game.
Well, so I could argue maybe differently on this, right? On one hand, if it's the Oracle first, the Oracle shreds Hellions to bits. If it's a Phoenix, it can pick up the Hellions. So I think the Stargate opener, weirdly enough, actually helps with what would potentially be Hellions.
It's only one, so not even that scary.
I still like the idea of just one. Like if you're going for the Widowmine drop as usual, you know, business as usual, we get the Marines, you get the Widowmine, you go to the main, and the Hellion runs to the natural, it'll be awesome.
He is going for 2 more Hellions. I think that's why he swapped the reactor. Yeah.
You're right. By Jove, you're right.
Damn dogs.
It's not that bad, actually. Yesterday was really loud. Today's just kind of like subtle background noise.
Well, they haven't gone full force yet. That's just the warm-up.
Oh no. This is just the start of the apocalypse, Griffin. Calm down. The big zombies haven't even come yet. Gotcha.
Yeah, the speed. What would you be more scared of? Big zombies or fast zombies?
This is like spiders. Zombies. No, this is like the exact same question you could ask about spiders.
Oh, fast spiders for sure. I actually don't mind big spiders at all.
Yeah, so for me,
like
I think...
tarantulas.
Yeah, it's the fact that they're so fast and tiny, and you're like, how can they move like that? So I think, for me, it'd be fast zombies.
You should be more afraid of that.
Because like a big zombie...
What am I? No!
Okay, almost scumbag. Almost scumbag. Yeah, he had to pull the SCVs away. This is actually a pretty good reaction on MarineLorD, but he still takes some pretty nasty losses for it. We were expecting him to go across the map. I didn't expect the Oracle to cause so much damage. 12 kills.
That went a lot better for Drogo. He not only got damage done, he pushed MarineLorD's pushback. And now he knows what type of push it is, too. Because he originally hadn't scouted the Hellions. So he's going to build a couple of Phoenix, maybe they'll let the Hellions, maybe they'll just make sure the medevac dies. Honestly, MarineLorD can't really push out anymore, so... whatever.
And it really sucks too, because this wasn't like a third CC build. You make up those worker losses pretty quick with 3 CCs and mules. Not gonna be the case. He's gonna slap one down now, realizing like it's his only option. But Drogo also casually takes his third on location, knowing full well that MarineLorD's gonna have to play defensive for a bit. I'm actually surprised MarineLorD didn't try and throw down a bunker, by the way, to wall this off the rest of the way, because for Drogo, while it's unlikely that he was had a big all-in following this up, that was still a possibility.
Yeah. This is pretty bad, really. But, you know, last 2 games, both guys have had bad starts. And neglecting the very first game of the day in Galactic Process, they've both been able to recover and even trade who's in the worst spot over time. So I'm not even going to, say anything about how bad MarineLorD looks, because you guys can tell, like, the supply count's not that great. But
so
Drogo still has to get to a comfortable position.
There's something unrelated to this game I'd like to bring up. Just checking Twitter casually. TLO basically tweeting that he witnessed Snoot go crazy ragey over Adepts. I guess it's because they're in the boot camp in real life, so they're like playing next to each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, Snoot is one of the calmest, most collected dudes. If he's raging over Adepts, you know something went wrong.
Dang.
That's scary, actually, to think about. What? Yo! Drizzit! 420, blaze it! What's up? Drizzit Arden! My dark elf brother from another mother. Thank you so much for the sub.
New sub.
That's 3 for the cast. Not bad.
I think so.
I had 5 last night, though. That's the high score to beat. 5 subscribers. Can we get 5 new subscribers? Oh, interesting. He walls us off with not a bunker, but just 2 more supply depots. I mean, that's not... Yeah, it's not game breaking. A wall off is a wall off at the end of the day. I just thought maybe you'd do a bunker, but... Alright, let's go back here on Drogo's side of the map. You got that third base set up pretty quickly, and we saw that early. But beyond that, the gateway production's actually pretty nice. His upgrades are nice. He doesn't have double forge, but still, that +1 finishes up in just a moment. And that'll be huge for the Adepts, being able to two-shot the SCVs. Maybe not the Marines, but at least the SCVs.
Mm-hmm.
Drizzt also, Tasia claps upon arrival and says they deserve my money. Nice, dude. Nice.
Thank you. This is a fairly scary-looking attack. This is one option that so far Drogo hasn't tried to go into, which is just overwhelming numbers, right? Both of the games, last 2 games, he went into Colossus. And that created some complications, because he would never get that one really good engagement against Liberators with them. You know, last game, because he didn't have Thermal Lance, and the game before, because MarineLorD got very quick Liberator range. So this is going to be interesting. Obviously, MarineLord's prepped for it, though, and this is usually not something we see. 2 bunkers and everything already prepped to go. So Drogo would be, be very confident to move into that. If he moves in now, though, there'd be no upgrades. Oh, that would be really good, but I don't think he is.
Forget the +1. Maybe that helps, maybe that doesn't. I still think combat shells being missing from this is going to be pretty massive. Keep in mind, the Adepts are, without those combat shells, going to be able to two-shot everything in play. Like the SCVs, the Marines. They're all going to go down very quickly. You also no longer need 5 shots for Hellion. I mean, just like everything gets better with upgrades. It was a long time ago now, but like Naniwa was the first one who really showed us how abusive Adept with quick upgrades can be.
Was it him?
Yeah, he did the. I think he was like the first one we cast that did +1 and Resonating Glaive Rush.
Nice. Well, Drogo does not dedicate to the huge attack, even though he might have still had a good time with it. Like the tanks, the Liberators are position, the bunkers. It was too risky. He still got 16 SCVs, though, for a handful of Adepts, and I wouldn't call that bad.
This is interesting. Zombie Grub. Would you rather fight 1 Rifkin-sized Zombie Grub or 10 Zombie Grub-sized Rifkins?
Zombie Grub-sized Rifkins? Wait. What was it? What was it again?
1 Rifkin-sized Zombie Grub.
Okay.
Or 10 Zombie Grub-sized Rifkins.
1. The 1.
You've already forgotten what I said, even though I just repeated it, didn't you?
Rifkin-sized Zombie Grub. He said.
I love those questions, like the whole stupid, like, a duck-sized horse or 100 horse-sized ducks or whatever the thing is, like, they're just so ridiculous to think about. They're my favorite what-ifs, or would-you-rathers.
Oh,
some of them are really mean.
Really?
Ooh, is this what we're interesting about, or is this what we're interesting about? Or is it like the Fleet Beacon, or, I mean, Fusion Core?
What are you doing?
I clicked on it and it didn't take me anywhere, man.
The Ghost Academy.
Yeah, I like the Ghost Academy a lot. I think the problem is, as good as EMP is, even if you land that EMP on the Heart of the Stalkers, on the Colossus, it's only best set on the Adepts. Because the Adepts are the cannon fodder for the army, kind of like what Charge Lots used to be. And once you chew through that, the rest of the Protoss army is pretty squishy. Stalkers, Colossus, they all go down to Marauders very quickly. Adepts do not. So if he lands those EMPs on the Adepts, great. But the one thing I worry about is every time we see EMPs come out, they just kind of go out on whatever the Terran player sees first. And when that's the case, I don't think that'll hurt Drogo that much.
Well, this is kind of the first time we've seen a late game that is pretty even. Even though MarineLorD took SCV losses, it didn't bring him down below like 45. And he was able to replenish it pretty quickly. Yeah, that early game Oracle thing was actually a pretty big deal, but it's really stabilized.
Oh, no.
Oh, this wasn't supposed to happen.
His army split. It's caught the Liberators on the wrong side of this. They're a little bit too fast. Colopedia! Colopedia! New sub hype. That's number 4!
Oh my god, it's happening.
I'm just saying, guys, yesterday we hit 5. Can we do it again? Can we beat that number? I don't know. Show Europe. Can you show North America that you're better than them? Hello?
Whoa, buddy. Whoa.
Alright, Fleet Beacon finishes up. More Stargates. We're going to see Tempest as a response to this. That range versus Liberators is just the best you can hope for, but Stalkers, well positioned, can sometimes do well. That was not a good position. Siege tanks on the ground, and the Liberators take a good chunk out of them. Let's not forget, we're on 19 Marauder count as well. Those will absolutely tussle with any Stalkers that come on the front line.
Yeah. think there's one Immortal in there, but this is kind of like, it just happened in Heart of the Swarm too, where after a certain amount of Colossus, you start questioning, would it be better just to get more Immortals? My Immortal.
Look at
He's
that,
going
guys.
into Tempests.
Almost nothing on the overlay. It looks so weird. I don't like it. Alright, Liberator's going to siege up once again. This forces Drogo to back the hell away. But if MarineLorD chases into it, then he's just going to eat Colossus shots. So this could be a mistake on his part if he's not careful.
Yeah, I think Drogo might be trying to buy time. Unfortunately, if he continues to hit like this, he might find himself back into a corner.
Oh, Colossus goes down to that tank shot. How many EMPs are left? There's still an EMP. If those Adepts actually transfer through, he can take a fight.
I guess he's maybe looking for a bit of surround now. Like, he really just wants his Tempest to pop out, for the love of God. Now 2 of them are out. 3 of them are. They can start tearing down those Liberators.
Well, they're also separated from the army. The Marines could just stim underneath them right now.
Some Adepts are going to try and stop that from happening. Uh-oh.
Oh, man. His army's completely cut out of this.
Yeah, this is very awkward. The armies are on the wrong side. They need to swap.
Well, there's still a couple of EMPs handy, depending on how this fight goes. The awkward thing for MarineLorD, though, is anti-air is lacking. He doesn't have that many Marines compared to Marauders, and those 27 aren't all here on the front lines.
This is going pretty bad. Losing those Tempests is a really big deal. The other army fight goes in favor of Drogo, it looks like.
But is it worth it, though? This is one of those at-what-cost moments. There's going to be EMPs on top of this army. Hits the Adepts, hits the Immortal, hits the Colossus. Marauders have a pretty good spread. Once they chew through the Adepts, stimming on top of the Colossus will be easy-peasy pickings. I mean, look at that. They're just falling down.
It's like they're imbalanced or something.
Ha!
Yeah.
Ha! Sorry. I just found that really funny, so I was like, couldn't contain myself.
Anyway, so what was originally, I think, a 40 army supply difference in the, not originally, sorry, in the middle of that fight, that was the worst it got for Drogo. At the end, it turned into a 20 supply difference, which is not nearly as bad, since Drogo saved his 4th base, still has okay-ish upgrades. It's not great. He really should have taken a better fight. It got really awkward with the Tempest on the wrong side of the field, but it also didn't end right there. And Drogo could try and get another army set up here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he can afford to go for Colossus. I might like the Disruptors more, though. Yeah, especially because there's Vikings already produced.
It's interesting because Vikings are a bit of a waste for Terran. Again, like in the balance patch that's coming for the game, they get that bonus damage versus mechanical units. That's going to make them kind of cool on the ground. You can get on land them and actually use them. But as it stands right now, landing Vikings are only really good at killing Adepts and 1 unit if there's 8 of them.
Drogo is kind of going into the mass air mentality, maybe, which, you know, the Vikings can't counter the Colossus, but they'll be very helpful against the air that Drogo's trying to go into, so I don't know. I might have preferred, like, an entirely ground-based army. But his Disruptors aren't here? I thought one of them popped out. Oracle, you tried, buddy. Oh, you tried. There's the Disruptor.
The Disruptor comes in, though, but what can it even hit? A couple of Vikings and a Marine. It's not really that worth it. That's it for Drogo's army. I think MarineLorD has just about tied this series up.
Yep.
What did he say?
That didn't even look French.
No, GG. Hey, we had a new sub by the way, Palatirian. Or Palatiron. Either way, that's 5 for 5. We've matched North Americans' new subscribers.
Take that, North America.
Well, I mean, we have to beat them first before we can say that. But, you know, we tied up, which is great. We're going to go to commercial break, guys. We'll see you in 2 minutes as the final match gets made as we speak. Alright, guys, look at that. BaseTradeTV's got your back. We could have played an extra 30 seconds of ads up, but we kept it short because we knew that you didn't want to miss any action going into Dawson Station. It's map 5. It's tied up 2-2, and everything matters for the winner's bracket. This leads into the qualifying match where the winner plays against Nurchio. And the question is, who's got a better chance against Nurchio? In the bottom right side, he's trying to overcome Protoss at the moment, though. It's the blue Terran, MarineLorD.
The top left as the red Protoss, he's Drogo.
I'll tell you, I know MarineLorD's being a little bit sarcastic, but ain't nobody loved this map more than Bly.
It's true. we got to see an amazing game before you joined on Dasson Station between Euthermal and Lycanine.
Oh?
I really like this map. It was a proxy Thor versus a proxy Starport.
Please tell me the proxy Thor won.
It didn't. I swear that it could have, but it didn't.
Because usually the thing about proxy Thors that I really enjoy is not the actual Thor itself for bringing damage, but you can full surround that with like 12 SCVs, and it just doesn't die to anything. Like, Liberator shots be damned, Banshees can't touch it. Like, SCV repairs are insane because they can get so much surface area on that bad boy.
Yeah. Well, the problem was that Euthermal killed all his SCVs. So, when it turned into a base trade, there's nothing to be done about it.
By the way, looks like Europe is in fact better than North America.
Oh, shit.
UCI legend. Hang on, what was it? UCI BA legend. Or Yukiba.
Usuba legend.
Usuba
legend.
Bellissimo.
Close.
Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel, man. I will say this to everybody because people were asking before. Unfortunately, we cannot share the qualifier replays for the KeSPA Cup. I did ask about this last night, but replay packs from our regular events do get sent out to our subscribers. So if you're on the channel and you're new, you can certainly get some of those replays. Just send us a message on Twitch and we'll send you some of the ones that have been recently sent out, like Corsair Cups and otherwise. But okay. Cool. Focusing on what's at hand, I like the bunker on the low ground at a MarineLorD. A big part of this has to do with this potential attack where you put pylons down and you get some overcharges and really piss all the Terran off. But it's not maybe going to be done in time.
The Zealot is so interesting. If he doesn't wait for if he waits for the Adept and doesn't get the Zealot, the bunker finishes. And you usually don't see a Zealot with this.
And the Mothership Core can actually fight the amount of Marines currently in play. He does kill the Zealot. SCV's going to try and finish the bunker, but there's no way it finishes in time, so cancels, pulls back. I mean, depots are certain to die, but he can still wall this off. Not if he puts the barracks here, but... Of course, not a second overcharge ready and available, but 3 Marines are the magic number what you need to push back the Mothership for. So he's got the potential if Drogo was silly enough to sit here and auto-attack, which isn't quite happening.
This wasn't followed up by anything, so it's never super scary, just super annoying.
Yeah, this was actually something where it may have even been too much for Drogo to put a second pylon down. For those who don't know, like, this attack, the biggest thing this does is open the door, and then those 3 gateways worth of adepts start flooding on in with their shades. You can't stop them, they get to the mineral line. Feels bad, man.
Yeah. This won't even kill one of those supply depot. Oh, it's close. With that Mothership Core DPS. Oh, it's gonna get it. It gets it.
If there's a second SCV, it wouldn't have.
Yeah. I think if the Mothership Core didn't help, it wouldn't have either. Well, either way. Pylon is cleaned up, and I don't think the 2 pylons are really worth it. The Cyclone's gonna come in soon.
I like this
round. The Adept.
Does a nice pull out of MarineLorD. It's not gonna kill the Adept, but it does potentially buy that time for the Marines to respond. She's gonna run down here and be really annoying. So he's just getting pulled on that mule, unfortunately. Cancels the transfer.
A pretty quick Immortal coming out here, so I don't know if that's going to be just, getting the Immortal count nice and high, because, that tank push is going to be popping this map, or if he's going to push into MarineLorD. Not going for any Twilight Council tech first. It's always a little weird for bosses.
Resonating Glaive has just become such a staple in the army. It is a bit odd when you don't actually see it out, but scans to see what's going on, because he has been unfortunately in the dark this whole time, and he'll see that Robo, but he'll see, more importantly, that there's nothing else with it, so it's got to be an Immortal.
Well, it could be a Warp Prism.
The argument I would make against that is a Warp Prism paired up with no Twilight Council tech means for really weak Warp-ins.
Nah, I agree. You really did get most of the base, so it's not even much of an argument about a Twilight Council being hidden somewhere.
Here's a problem. No Observer, because he rushed at that Immortal.
Budamine
comes in, and unless the overcharge hits now...
Mothership Core, please! You're right there! You could have killed it!
Alright, so this isn't going to kill much, but it also won't be cleaned up for a few moments because he needs to finish the Warp Prism. You can't cancel that to get the Observer out. MarineLorD also never re-walled off, and I guess he's okay with that for the time being, which I find a little bit odd.
Ooh, Dark Shrine and Resonating Glaives. What Immortal's still very interesting for me.
We have an accusation made in Twitch chat, by the way. Heebs says 5k viewers, but a dead chat. Did Winter host? Can I get a 1 in chat if you're a viewbot, guys? Let's liven this up a bit with some viewbot action. Type that 1 if you're real.
If you're a cat, put Scaredy Cat.
That's not fair, because only Twitch Turbo users can do that, and I want to put Scaredy Cat, but I can't, because I'm not a Twitch Turbo user.
You should have screamed louder when they were choosing emotes.
That's my bad. I was in the booth like a schmuck. I should have been out there in the crowd.
I think the cat's like stress shedding. Mine's like my...
Wait, back up.
My...
Shedding with a D?
Shedding?
Okay, so hair coming out of her, not poop. Got it.
That would have been terrible. But
my
like, my entire lap
my
is
cat's
just
like
full of
stress
white
shitting
fur.
everywhere.
I mean, that's probably a thing. Yo, seriously, Apollo, get a haircut. You hippie?
Should have taken him with you. You could have colored his hair too.
No.
Yeah, you thought about it for a second though. I know you did.
No.
No,
watched that Futurama
don't be
episode.
silly.
Couldn't they contaminate the seeds? No.
Alright, push coming down the middle of the map. Got some tanks with it too, and I even like the Cyclone. If that Cyclone gets a lock onto the Immortal, MarineLorD's army should be so much better for this fight. There's that lock on. As long as he keeps the vision, the Immortal's gonna go down. He's keeping it in range. DT's come in though. I don't think he expected this. Detection is a bit of an issue right now.
Yeah. He lost all of his body units anyways, so this would have been cleaned up. Another Immortal pops out. Cyclone unfortunately goes down, and the game continues. But DT's try and get the natural. Get 7 SCVs before they can be responded to. Not bad.
Yeah, he did build turrets preemptively though, so this isn't like he was desperately trying to build a turret. Detection at home was going to be a problem. Which is nice, because if he was thinking about continuing that attack, and let's say it went even better for him, that way he could afford to use scans offensively instead of defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Tanks can sit up behind that mineral line. That's why the rocks are being broken down right now. Wants to prevent that from happening.
The Immortal attack sound is just...
Yo, the one thing I really liked about playing co-op Alarak was his Immortals have that, like, volley attack. Like, they shoot shit up in the air and it comes down. That looks so cool, and it sounds cool. Stupid regular Immortals are so lame.
I feel like the Immortal sound attack, the more I think about it, sounds very different to all the other Protoss attacks.
Yo, it actually sounds a little bit like when Lucio fires his gun.
Yeah, you're right. I was gonna say like a squeegee, but that also works.
Now I'm expecting the Immortal to shoot like 3 projectiles out. Ruined. No, why abandon the tanks like that? That's not gonna be worth that trade.
Oh, that was a mistake.
That
he was reacting
was.
to the DPs in the natural. I guess he have to do something.
That's unfortunate. Losing 3 tanks like that's actually pretty huge too. You don't have a lot of tank production as Terran. When you're trying to get Liberators and especially your tech out, that's gas you can't afford to spend on tanks.
Especially on this map where tanks can be king. To suddenly get like I think he had 5, now down to 2. That's a pretty big deal. That's just devastating for his push. But Drogo did give away some units for this, you know, in the defense and also in this attack right here, and of course, just by going for a Dark Templar build. So he's down 20 army supply even after killing those tanks, and down in upgrades too. MarineLorD could still win this game, but he needs to do something.
Oh no, I can't see you stop because the chat's flooding with ones right now. We have too many viewbots. It's viewbot overload. Zerarden! 3 years of saving esports. Thanks for that 3 Millennium resub, dude. Much appreciated. Oh, there's some scaredy cats coming down.
Yeah, scaredy cats.
I love, by the way, we had those Twitch Turbo Code giveaways, and I love seeing those people constantly show up in chat.
Nice.
Nice. Alright, he's still gonna need a couple of scans. He's even trying to build a turret. What? That's bold to say the least.
The army's gonna move. The missile turret's gonna start. Okay.
I would love actually if he would build one back here and maybe even not a bunch, but like leapfrog one turret into the other, so he doesn't have to burn scans. That would be kind of cool to see. But big attack him from the backside. That door was opened by Drogo. Tearing down his rocks may end up hurting him here. That Liberator could set up in such a nice choke position. I think he realizes it too. So the Archons on the front lines going to be the first things targeted down. The Immortal's getting shot. Marine's taking care of those adepts. Not a problem for those +1 weapons. A MarineLorD looks to be in a commanding position. Drogo running out of supply, running out of time, and running out of life. One Marine from the backside actually comes in. The Immortal goes down. This base is forfeit. Drogo's got a base to the north, though. Losing this wouldn't be so bad if he had army supply afterwards, but that was his whole army gone. He's on 8 army supply, Zombie Grub, and it's DTs.
Continue.
Okay, well, this game, so
Jake is bugging out.
Well, anyways, even though the base up here got made, it's not going to matter. Drogo can't take any more fights. And well, this series started off very much Drogo favored. That 2-1 lead, the confusion of Rifkin, all these things aside, it looks like MarineLorD is going to be the one to go fight against Nurture in those finals for a TVZ best of 5. GG gets called! Congratulations to MarineLorD! And I'm assuming you didn't hear me for the last portion of the game.
No, I think it was the greatest commentary in the world, though.
Thank you. I'm really glad. You know, sometimes I'm worried that you don't like me, and then you say things like that, and it makes me feel so fulfilled and good about myself. Anyways, we'll try and fix the Skype problems, guys. It usually just requires a restart. So we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we should have the finals getting started. Nurture and MarineLorD do have to do vetoes, though, so it will take a few minutes. We'll see you guys in a bit.